I've considered myself a Greek mythology nerd and just a mythology nerd overall for years now, but the more I'm starting to learn and research, I'm starting to realize haven't there's a lot I didn't know. And this is prompting me to start talking about it, because I've learned some stuff I really like. And this first video that I'm making here, I'm going to talk about what I've learned about Aphrodite. In so many forms of, like, in stories, media, and stuff, she's always portrayed and talked about as a daughter of Zeus. And I can't remember the other god that she's the daughter of, but, like, Zeus is her father. That's how it's always been told. She's an Olympian. And in my head, I was like, and this is kind of a brief segue, but I'm going to circle back around. I didn't know a lot about the Titans. I've only known what little has been shown in, like, Percy Jackson, Kronos rising and them having to stop him, and certain other like, Titans that have showed up. But they don't really get a lot of attention in media, so it's like, I'm going to research this. And in doing so, I learned of an older... I've learned of an older origin of Aphrodite. In, like, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the Titanomachy. She wasn't a daughter of Zeus. She wasn't an Olympian. She actually predates them in that, and she's a Titan. So in that, when Kronos chops up his father, defeats him, which is funny because that's what happens to Kronos. Zeus chops him up and throws him in Tartarus. But Kronos did that to his dad, Uranus. But before the whole chopping process really began, he chopped off Uranus's and tossed his hobgobbler into the ocean. And when that happened, his special sauce and his blood mixed, boiled, and whatever, it outformed Aphrodite. And I find it ironic in that moment of Kronos starting up the chopping process and throwing that piece of him in the ocean, that something beautiful is born out of it, because he locked up his children, the Cyclopses and the Hecatundries, because he did not see them as beautiful. He saw them ugly. He hated how they looked, and he didn't want to see them anymore. So, the irony there. But yeah, Aphrodite, in older mythology, is a Titan. And I found that really cool.